So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Yin Yoga. Let's take a comfortable seat, closing the eyes, hands resting on your lap somewhere, and taking a nice deep breath, allowing your body and your mind to settle. As we enter the mat and enter the space, many yoga classes, mine included, offers an opportunity for our bodies to build a memory, build a automatic sort of reaction, if you will. So when we drop our eyes, we take the deep breath, it helps our body remember, oh, this is what we're doing. We're coming to stillness. We're moving from the outside to the inner world. We're dropping into our essence and our awareness. And it's a simple thing that done daily or routinely helps us to really drop in. So taking a couple of breaths here as we practice today, I want you to really continue to think and drop into your breath, drop into your body, and drop into your intention. Why are you here? And then allow the hands to come together at the heart center, pausing with that intention and that dropping in and settling. And allow the practice and your experience to be exactly what you need today. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, letting the hands release, softly opening the eyes, gently rolling the shoulders. All right, so let's start like we always do on the mat, lying all the way down. And once you're all the way down on the mat, just let yourself settle again. And you might take that breath and close your eyes and help your body remember. Most of us, out of habit, will bend our knees, and that's all right if you need to. But once you settle, can you stretch your legs down on the mat? And become very aware of what's happening on the physical level. This physical part of our being, our bones, our skin, our organs. And we just notice what's present, what's calling our attention without trying to find anything. We're not like going on a scavenger hunt. We're just noticing. The awareness muscle is tuning in, and we're starting to notice, oh, my stomach's gurgling. I forgot to have breakfast. Or, oh, my body feels a little tweaked this morning. Maybe I did too much yesterday. Those kinds of things. And then dropping into your breath, noticing how the body's breathing. Now, our bodies, because we drop in pretty quickly, we come on a regular basis to the mat, our body knows what to do. We don't even have to do anything. But just notice if there's any kind of tension or shift. Maybe you've been super busy this morning and it's hard to relax. And then become aware of the state of your mind and the state of your heart. And my teacher reminds me to say, check in with the quality of your prana, the quality of your energy. Are you exhausted? I talked to a friend yesterday and I hadn't talked to her in quite a while, and the first thing out of her mouth was, I'm so exhausted. And I used to say that all the time. I'm stopping myself from saying that because if I need to say that, I need to change something. It's not okay to be in that constant state of exhaustion, as I have learned. I am learning. All right, so from there, let's just take a moment to bend the knees. And I want you to rock your pelvis slightly. So think about pelvic tilting. Anterior hip bones move up, lower back moves away from the floor, and then posterior moves the hip bones back, lower back moves to the floor. And so rocking from the tailbone to your over your sacrum to your lower back, just taking a moment here. Go nice and slow. Notice what you notice. We all have our own rhythm of doing things, our own breath rhythm, our own sort of bio energetic rhythm. So just notice if you tend to go like really quick, like you're trying to get through it, like let's get to the next thing. Or if you can slow it down enough to really sense and feel the nuance of what's happening here. The next time you rock through that posterior tilt and the lower back touches the floor, bring yourself back to neutral and place your left leg straight down on the floor. Your arms can be out into a T or maybe in a cactus shape if your arms will go there. And I want you to take your right knee, drop it into the midline. Really keep your right shoulder anchored. And as you drop in, you're going to find a place where it won't go anymore. Press into your right foot and peel your right hip and lower back off the floor. And you can take it as far as you like. Just keep your right shoulder anchored. And then when you're inhaling, bring yourself back to where you started. Take a breath if you need to in the middle. And then exhale, knee drops in, push through your foot. And I like the idea of peeling yourself off, hip, lower back, maybe ribs on that right side. Some people refer to this action as the kidney pump because we're massaging the connective tissue and the energetic lines along the right kidney line. And so we start to open up the energy lines, the meridians they're called, along with the biological lines of the blood flow and lymph flow, connective tissue, so that we actually create some space. And the thing always is to go super slow. When you think you're going super slow, go super slower. And if you get to the end range of that peeling off and it feels really good to you, just stay there maybe for a breath or so. Like you're just really giving it a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of an opening. And if you're feeling it up in your armpit, that's actually a bonus. After this next one, go ahead and pause. Arms down, legs down. Integrate. Drop in a little deeper. All right, now let's do the same thing on the left side. So left foot lands on the floor, hands back to where they were. Let the left knee drop in and then push and peel your hip off on the side. And as you go through the second side, you're going to notice that they're feeling a lot different. There might be some more restriction or less restriction, different sensations. If you're very flexible, you're going to try to move in this gigantic big way. Challenge yourself to soften that a little bit and see if you can look for the nuance, the subtlety. I think about it like a color. You could have the color green, for example, and it can be very dark and rich and vibrant, and it's kind of like in your face, right? It's like you can't miss it. That would be like the obvious sensations in your body. And then go to the lightest, most pale shade of green. If you weren't paying attention, you'd miss it altogether. It was so subtle, but it's there all the same. Notice the subtlety in your own movement patterns, your own body, even your quality of prana. The exhale draws, the inhale draws you across the body, and the exhale brings you back to center. Let's do a couple more on this side. Trying really hard not to rush. Who's in a hurry? Who's had a lot of caffeine this morning? And after this last cycle, go ahead and put your legs down and your arms down and pause again. So every time we come to this place, the body has an opportunity to integrate the action. And that's part of the reason you slow down is think about our daily lives. We're very busy most of the time. We're running from one thing to another. We're going from one place to the other. There's always a list of things to do. And it's very sometimes uncomfortable to just be. All righty. Let's bend the knees. Roll to your right side. Push yourself up into a seated position. We're going to go through a little series seated. All right. So if you need to sit up on something because you just feel a little bit tight, like you can't sit well here, I want you to come to some kind of edge of blanket or maybe a little pillow. The first thing we're going to do is to bring the feet close. So in traditional yoga, we call this cobbler's pose or Baddha Konasana. So normally I would say go to butterfly, right? Feet are away. Right now I want feet close. And this is where you could sit up on something. If it pushes you over backwards, you need to be up on something. You can hold your ankles. You can hold your big toes. I'm short-waisted, so I can hold around my feet. And what I want you to think about here before you do anything else is, can you elongate your spine? Can you feel your sitting bones down on the earth? And from there, can you pull a little bit against your arms to get your spine up nice and long, almost like you're trying to do a back bend? And then make sure your neck is in neutral, that you're not trying to lift your chin up. And only if there's freedom to do so, start to tip yourself forward. Okay, you find your edge, and we work here. I want to remind you, there's nowhere to go, there's no hurry, and we're looking for the subtlety. So if I pull myself way over, it's going to be this great big action. Go for the subtle first. Close your eyes if you need to. And what do you notice? You don't notice the great big stretch because it's not there yet. You notice the nuance. Do you feel like an energetic, almost tingling or sensation along the inner groin, inner leg, maybe inner knee? Do you feel an action of some kind moving up your spine? Because your spine ideally is nice and long. And then see, is there more freedom as you wait? Maybe you can come down a little, half an inch or so, and you change the sensation. You change it when you come forward. What now does it feel like? And we just notice if you tipped yourself forward at all, did you change it into a different location? Like, did it go from your inner legs to your lower back? Not a bad thing. Just notice. And this is where we can really check in with the quality of our prana. We start to notice the fatigue in the body. Like there's real, like the muscles are tired, the body's tired. Take one more breath here. And then as you inhale, sit up nice and straight. Bring yourself back up into that neutral spine. Take your left knee and draw it up. And move your foot forward in front of you so that you can sit fairly well. I don't remember if I did this with you last week. Hand on the inside of your ankle. So my elbow and my knee are touching each other. And then take your other hand right behind you, fingertips on the floor maybe, or palm, depending on the size of your length of your spine. And then lift yourself up into that nice long spine again and start to exhale and turn yourself open to, it'll be your right if you're with me. So anchor your arm and your knee into each other. They're like a little fulcrum. And then you turn the belly button and you turn the ribs and you turn the shoulders and you turn your head and listen, turn your eyes so that your eyes are trying to move to the furthest corner to the right. Don't do it so hard that you start to create some tension or stress. Do it enough so that you can feel what's happening. You can still breathe in the belly. You're holding yourself up with your back arm, shoulders anchored into the body. Now this one's got a little bit more effort into it, so just notice how much you want to strive. Can you just be? Feel the nuance all along the body. You can feel this one just about everywhere. But where do you notice it the most? Something subtle that you might miss if you weren't paying attention. Allowing yourself to settle in, dropping in even a little bit more. Take one more nice deep breath here. And then as you exhale, softly release. Turn to face this straight leg or this bent leg and just slide it straight down in front of you. Now from here, I want you to sit up tall Now you may or may not want to use your props here. We're going to come forward over the straight leg. So if I were using my props, I might use my blocks. And as I come forward, I'm just going to rest on them. So you might do that. You might just stretch your arms out in front of you, finding your edge here. You might put your hands on your leg. Find a place where it makes sense for you to hold for, these are 2.5-minute holds each. I don't care if your spine is rounded now, but I don't want it to be excessive. So don't think I've got to get down over my leg. Remember, we're just going to that edge of sensation where that subtlety is. And we start to pay attention to the physical body, obviously, the breath body, how our body's breathing, and then dropping into the intention. What were you here for? Why'd you come? What do you need? And we keep trying to remember to talk to ourselves, telling the cells, oh, this feels good. This is what I need today. This is how I can start my morning. And if you want to put your head in your hands, if you've got that freedom, you can do that. Or you could just let your head relax. Don't worry about holding it in any particular way. And as your body starts to soften, hydrate, connective tissue starts to feel more free or relaxed, you might move forward over your leg more. Your body just will release more over the leg. Take one more nice deep breath here. And then slowly move yourself back up. Move your props out of the way for a minute and come back to straight legs out in front of you. Just nice and easy. Just take a moment. Remember to integrate. We just did a bit. It was an 8-minute cycle or a little flow there if you want. You can see that I'm rubbing my legs. That always feels good to me, but you do what feels good to you. It might be, oh, I want to lean back a little bit. Oh, I want to rotate my ankles. Find what works for you and do that. All right, from here, let's go back to Baddha Konasana. Back to the beginning. And you might notice that you feel differently on this one. Again, finding that hold. Take a deep breath, sit up nice and tall, and then see if your body wants to hinge at all forward. Remember, trying not to go to that great big action. See if you can soften it. Hold back a little bit. Look for the nuance. Look for the palest green color you can find. And just be curious about what that feels like and what it's trying to communicate with you. I always remember, especially when I teach Yin, that the connective tissue is everywhere. And just because we're asking the body to go in a certain direction and we think we have the idea of what it's going to feel like, if you slow it down enough, you're going to notice that there's other things happening that you missed, that you weren't paying attention to. And so what did you miss? When we fall back into that connecting the breath, connecting to the body, into our intention. Take a nice deep breath. And then very slowly start to bring yourself up. And if you were in that shape and you were like, oh, I just wanted to stay there a little bit longer, I was getting so much out of that. That's a good memory for you. Remember that. Come back to that later, maybe tomorrow or another day. That same shape. Bring the knee up towards the center line so you're on the other leg. Slide your foot in front of you so you can sit well. And then take that same hand to the inside of your ankle. So I'm holding this is your right leg, your right arm on your inner ankle. The other hand's behind you on the floor, and you're going to push with your back arm to lift your spine. And as you exhale, turn towards your left, using your arm and your inner leg as a fulcrum. So you're kind of keeping them tucked together so that you can move from somewhere, so you can have this anchor. So the breath moves the belly around, the belly button around, the ribs around, the shoulders around, the head. And then finally, can you do the eyes? Trying to move your eyes to the furthest corner to the right you can, as if you're trying to see something just out of your reach. And we hold this posture without over-efforting. Last week I talked about being able to allow the shape, create the shape without controlling it. So of course we have to effort somewhat because we have to sit here. But how much do we have to do is the question. Maybe not as much as we think. And if you're starting to work a little too hard, you're going to notice these areas get really, really exhausted, like your neck, for instance. Can you let go of your left leg, the one that's close to the floor? Can you not pull it up? We just continue to breathe into the belly. Take one more breath here. And then slowly releasing around to the front, taking this bent leg and stretch it straight down. And you're facing this bent or this straight leg now. You're directly over it. So fingers on the floor, or maybe your forearms are on your blocks. And you're going to sit up nice and tall and then start to move, hinge over this straight leg. So imagine your chest kind of hitting your middle of your leg here. And so I'm just using my blocks to show you. I can easily just put my fingers on the floor and find my edge this way. Some of you might have freedom to hold your head in your hands. If you did that on one side, do it on the other. I wouldn't recommend doing something different on each side. And so I leaned on my blocks on my first side, so I'm doing it that way here. See if you can't settle yourself in fussing and fidgeting and fixing all tell me that it's your nervous system that's a little bit on the hyper side. See if you can just become still. Closing the eyes can help. Remember that dropping in piece. And just notice as your body starts to soften and the sensations go away, how you can just gently allow the body to move more over the leg. You're not trying to control it. Uh, it's more of a letting go. It truly is. And take one more breath. And then start to move yourself upright. Go nice and slow, especially if that felt like a deep action for you. And then taking your leg up, do the same thing we did on the other side. Stretch the legs out. Maybe rotate your ankles. Maybe lean back. Pushing your chest up. If you yawn, I had somebody not too long ago ask me in class why she kept yawning. Do you notice you get a yawn response? That's actually a release of the deep inner tension that your body's holding. Could be a sign of exhaustion if it happens over and over again. This one woman yawned the entire class. She just could not stop yawning. And it told me, without me even knowing her, how exhausted she was. I was glad she was there. All right, butterfly pose to finish this all series off. So bring the feet away from you more. I don't have my bolster here, but you can put your bolster over your legs, remember? You could also just use your blocks if you like. It's nice on this one to be able to hold your head, put your something on your forehead. So if I were doing this with you, I would put my forehead down on my blocks. The blocks can be on your feet if you've got, a distance that you need to travel. Find a place where you can get comfortable. Sometimes it takes a little bit of movement around. Let your body fold over itself. Think of a turtle. This is, in traditional yoga, we would call this a modified turtle shape. Think of how a turtle kind of wraps into itself. Let your head rest on something. Finding the right height for you. Maybe your head is resting in your hands, and your elbows are resting on your block. And so we find our way into this hold, and remember the subtle. So in this one, I might notice that I'm trying to strive so much to get lower, to put my head on something, that I get these really strong sensations like in my back or along my neck or anywhere like that. You got to back off from that one. Go for the subtle. Look for the palest color green that you can find. Forehead touching something, connecting to that deep inner wisdom of the mind. Not the thinking mind, not the egoic mind, this deep inner wisdom. The yogis call it the Buddhi mind, our intuition, our deep knowing. It's like a little tiny voice. It's like that subtlety. You're looking for the subtlety in the body. This deep wisdom of the mind is subtle. And we have to be quiet and still in order to be able to notice it. The thinking mind just keeps us in this place of, well, I think I'm in control and I think I know what I know and I feel safe. The deep wisdom, this intuitive wisdom, it's on a whole nother layer. You can really tap into something that you just didn't even know was there. And it might just be this sense of ease, this sense of I'm all right. Everything's all right. Breathe. It's all we got anyway is this moment. Take a nice long deep breath. And then slowly starting to bring yourself upright. Go ahead and bring your knees up one last time and lean back a little bit. And if you want, you can swish your legs a little bit side to side. You don't have to do that. You can stretch your legs out. But most people, when they do that forward bending for a while, this particular action feels good. And after you've done a couple on each side, I want you to move yourself down onto your belly. Move yourself down onto your belly. Rest your head on your hands. Let your feet be a little wider than neutral apart and pause there. And once you settle, notice. Notice the weight of your body. Notice the breath in the belly, in the side ribs, in the back. Notice the quiet of the mind. All right. So this next action, you may need some kind of belt. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you that earlier, but just see what happens. So I want you to let your right hand, stay where it is and put your forehead down on it. Bend your left knee and reach around and see if you can grab your pant leg or your ankle or the top of your foot. And so we're going to be here in this shape for a couple of minutes. And what I want you to notice, without trying to overwork and control the shape, is when you pick up your foot and you hold it, does your pelvis tilt so that your tailbone kind of pops up in the air? That's a little bit of tightness in your hip flexor. And so just settle that part down. I don't want you to push it down or shove it down. I just want you to allow it to settle. And if your body does do that, you might notice there's a lot of sensation in your lower back, and that's why, right? So as we're here, we just intend for the pelvis to feel a little heavier. Now, if you can easily bring your foot to your buttocks, you don't feel like your pelvis is tipped funny, and you're just not feeling a lot, then what I want you to do is lift your head and shoulders up. Prop yourself up a little bit on your forearm. So your head is up, your shoulders are up, and your foot is in. Now for me, that really brings in too much, so I'm going to put my head back down. Everybody's different, every day is different. Drawing the foot towards the buttocks, allowing the pelvis to feel heavy, propped up on your forearm if you want more sensation. If you're pulling on your arm, try to bring the elbow to the ceiling rather than out to the walls. And this is one of those, you gotta effort just a little bit. All right, take a nice deep breath. And then let go of your foot nice and slow. Bring yourself back to the center. Head on your hands, feet on the floor, pause. And what's fun to notice here is notice the legs and how they're different. Notice how the kneecap feels a little softer. Or maybe there's more of your body on the floor. That's nice action, actually. And then as you feel ready, to the other side, bending the right foot, knee towards your buttocks, grab it with your hand or maybe grab your pant leg, head on your left hand. And then notice the pelvis, how it wants to tip up towards the ceiling. Rather than shoving it down, maybe you just allow the pelvis to settle. Drawing the foot toward the buttocks. If you're short-waisted like I am, you're more than likely going to need to bend the elbow just because you don't have a lot of length in your body. And so if you're doing that, the elbow goes towards the ceiling rather than towards the wall. And then if you feel like you want to, because there's not enough going on, you can prop yourself up a little bit on your forearm. So you don't need to push yourself way up, just enough so that you come up to ask a little bit more. Again, my body says stay down. Soften the efforting as much as you can. I know it's hard when you're doing something that's causing a little bit of discomfort because you're in this awkward position. So just noticing any over effort in here. You might be starting to get tired. And remember, you can always bail. You don't have to hold the entire time. Today I'm working with 2.5 minute holds on pretty much everything except for that butterfly pose. We were in it longer. And take one more nice deep breath. And then softly let go of your leg. Come back to the center where you're resting your head on your hands. And then the final shape here is I want you to prop yourself up on your forearms for Sphinx pose. Let your feet be wider apart so that your pelvis, you really feel your pelvis heavy here. Shoulders are down your back body. Heart is moving forward. Remember, you can stay here, or if you have more freedom, widen your hands and press off your elbows so that you're in seal pose. Well, seal pose obviously is a much bigger action. You don't have to be in seal. It's just an option. The further out your hands are away from you, the easier. The further in your hands are closer, the bigger that action is. So find that sweet spot if you're on your hands where you can be here. Otherwise, be on your forearms in Sphinx and soften. So when we do these little bit stronger actions, it's really hard to move into the subtle. We get a little bit taken away with the efforting. And so that's our nuance, right? That's our discernment. How much can we be here and not over effort? And that translates into life, basically. You don't have to do everything super hard all the time. We can soften. Just this sort of idea of instead of sitting in front of your computer answering emails, you go sit outside and listen to the birds. Yes, it might feel unproductive, but your nervous system will really, really like it. We have to retrain our mind and our neurons, our patterns in our mind to not think busy is the goal. Not to be exhausted all the time. Take one more breath. And then release yourself down onto the mat for a moment. I want you to take your hands next to your body. You're going to push yourself off the floor. And we're going to go into what I like to call a long-armed child pose or extended child pose. So stay up on your hands for a minute. Widen your knees, bring your feet together. And then just allow your hips to move back. Now, if you know you have knee sensitivity, maybe put blankets or a bolster behind your hips so there's space between your hip and your feet. Find the edge of wherever you're going to go and walk your hands out in front of you. Let your head release. Keep your arms active. We want to have this sense here of length along the sides of our body, from our hips, outer hips, all the way up to our shoulders and fingers. Take one more breath like that. And then you can stay here, or you can just release your elbows to the floor. Bring your hands like a prayer position and see if your head will touch the mat. So this is obviously a little bit less active, but it pulls you down towards the floor a little bit more. So maybe this feels like where you want to be. Notice the nuance, the subtlety. Take a nice deep breath. And then very slowly, starting to bring yourself up, we're going to make our way down onto our backs. You guys all have a strap. Do you have a strap near you? Yes, no, maybe. If we have a strap, it'll work really well. Otherwise, we can do it without, but I prefer it if you have a strap. And if you have a strap and you have a loop, you get a bonus point. All right. So let's bring ourselves back onto the mat. Have your strap close by if you have one. Legs down on the mat. Just take a moment here. And you notice when you close your eyes and take a deep breath that you're able to settle. Okay. So bending your knees. If you have a strap, put the loop, if you have a loop, around your foot. If you don't have a loop, just hold the strap with your two hands, one on each strap end. If you have a loop in your strap, I want you to use the tail, holding the tail. And I want you to take your hands like you're clapping your hands together, and the strap is right in the middle of your hands. And then start to slide your hands backward so that they get as long as they can go behind you, maybe arms along your ears. So my strap's not very long, but I can manage this action. And I want you to find some tension here where the back of the leg is not bending. You've got a straight leg. You're reaching up through the heel and you're reaching back with your arms. So this is very much like where we just were when we were in child's pose and I had you stretch your arms up over your head. And I want you to find your sweet spot here. Can you be with this action and not overwork? Look for the subtlety. So I went to a workshop on Friday locally, and the title of the workshop was Looking for the Sweet Spot or Finding the Sweet Spot. And basically all that means is just what we do in yin, really. It's you're efforting, but you're not over efforting. You're resting, but you're not completely collapsed. There's this sweet spot of action, awareness, alignment, where you're noticing these subtleties. So remember, you're active here. Your leg is getting pressing up into the heel. My arms are reaching back along my head. If your shoulders are bothering you, hands can be more forward and out in front of you, but see how I still have my arms straight? And then over time, there might be this length in the arms right along your ears. The right leg is bent on purpose. We're going to move into another action in a second here.
So this is hamstring back line of the body on the left side. From the bottom of your foot all the way along the heel and up through the back of the leg, up through that side buttocks, up through that side back. One more breath here. Now take your right hand and slide it forward towards your foot as far as you can go. So I've got to I'm holding my strap close to my foot, and I'm going to roll all the way over onto my right hip. So my right bent knee is going to land on the floor. I'm going to land on my right hip, and I'm going to keep this leg moving away from me, pushing through the heel. I don't want you to drop your foot on the floor. Keep your foot and your hip about parallel to each other. And now start to take your left arm open. Turn your head to the left. So this is a very active twist here that you're in. Your right arm is straight. Your left leg is straight. Your left arm is straight. Your right knee is bent underneath you. It helps to hold you in the shape, and it also protects your lower back and sacrum. And so finding that sweet spot. Finding that sweet spot. Left shoulder drifts to the floor, left arm drifts away from your body as the left leg pushes away. Feel and sense into the subtlety. Remember, if it's too hard, you're going to get these strong discomfort places. It's never going to work there. So maybe soften your knee. Maybe bring your leg up. Maybe relax your hand grip on the strap a little. Find where you can be and not struggle. Keeping the breath deep in the belly. Take one more breath. And then as you inhale, bring your legs straight back up. Bring yourself back onto your body. Release your strap. And come back to arms and legs on the floor. And just take a pause. And notice the difference between your left side and your right side. Dropping in, dropping in, dropping in. All right, one more side. Right foot. Same exact thing. Again, if you have a loop, it's ideal. I keep a loop in my strap all the time. I just always have it there. And then if you're not holding two straps, it'll work if you do, but it's a little harder to manage. Hands together, like you're clapping the straps in the middle of your palms, and you slide your hands backwards to whatever level you can do. Left leg is bent. Sacrum's resting on the floor. Once you get your arms where you want them, tighten your grip around the strap and give it a little bit of tension. So the straight leg up in the air has something to work against. Just like we did when we were in that twist. And I said you had to have a fulcrum to work against, same idea. So you don't want to hold your leg up. You don't want to get a cramp in your quadricep. You want the strap to hold the leg up. And you're reaching through the back of the leg, through the heel. Stretching your arms out over your head, really being active in your arms. And you're breathing. And moving deep in the belly. Now, one of the reasons we breathe into the nose all the time in yoga, the sages were so wise, is when you breathe through your nose, it sends a signal to your nervous system that you're safe, that you're in a rest and digest parasympathetic mode. You don't have to turn anything on. You don't have to run. You don't have to be afraid. When you breathe through your mouth, it can send the different signal. That's why snoring and in your sleep is so bad, because you're supposed to be completely relaxed and you're breathing through your mouth, sending this weird signal to your body that you're in fight or flight. On another nuance, have you ever slept with mouth tape? I worked on that for a while with Chris a couple of years ago when we were talking about breathing during a workshop we were doing. It's a thing, and if you snore, it's something to consider. Anyway, breathing through your nose always sends that message that we so need in this culture. We take one more nice deep breath here, and then slide your now left hand all the way up as close to your foot as you can grab it. All right, relax your other right hand, and now start to lean over to the left. Your left bent leg is going to rest on the floor. You're going to lay on your left hip, and you're going to push through the strap. Now, I happen to have the wall here, so I can push into the wall. At the same time, I'm going to open my right shoulder and my right arm, looking to my right hand. So if you're lucky enough to have a wall space, go ahead and push into it like I am. Otherwise, use your strap to press into. Leave the left knee bent and underneath your leg, your other straight leg. So I don't want you to move this leg down. Kind of even tuck it underneath you, and it'll help your lower back find its sweet spot. Eyes are turning to the right. Almost like you're turning your eyeballs in the socket to the right, looking at your right hand. Breathe deep in the belly. We feel and sense into the subtlety. Now, this is a big action. There's a lot of sensation that we feel. So, can you find the subtlety? Can you find the palest green color that you can notice? Remember, the connective tissue is everywhere in the body. Face, ears, toes, fingers, everywhere. Take one more breath. And then as you inhale, bring your leg up. Bring yourself back onto the body, back body. Remove your strap. And then find your way all the way down one more time. And as you close your eyes and you take the deep breath, you settle. You feel yourself just letting go. Now you can stay here for Shavasana, or you can find your way into a different Shavasana. Maybe put some prop underneath your legs, or cover yourself up with a blanket, or put an eye pillow over your eyes. Shavasana is the one time that we want to make sure that we're really cozy and wonderful. We don't want to struggle during Shavasana at all. The ultimate sweet spot, the ultimate ease. Once you found your sweet spot, take that deep breath, let your exhale settle you into stillness.
Take a longer and deeper breath. And slowly starting to stretch and move, coming back to your body. And as you feel ready, you can bend your knees, roll to your side, pause. Use your hands. Slowly press yourself up to sitting. Eyes closed. Spine erect and tall. Body soft. Notice the quality of your prana. The gentle hum of the energetic body. Allow the hands to come to the heart center. Gently bowing the head towards your hands. And that humble gesture of gratitude for time together on the mat. Our deep body wisdom and guiding light. May our light always shine brightly, and may we always see the light in each other. Namaste.